She first noticed him on a rainy Tuesday evening. A small gray shadow, soaked and trembling under the edge of a neighbor's porch roof. His eyes caught hers, wide, wild, and wary. For a moment, they stared at each other through the drizzle, a silent acknowledgement between two strangers trying to survive different kinds of storms. The cat was skinny. His ribs slightly visible, his left ear nicked. He looked as if he'd lived a dozen lives, and each one had been harder than the last. She didn't know why she stepped outside, barefoot on cold concrete, holding a ceramic dish with leftover chicken and rice. She only knew he didn't run away. He didn't come close either. He waited until she was back inside and the porch light flickered on. Then he crept to the dish, sniffed cautiously, and ate like he hadn't in days. That night, she named him Ash, for the gray streaks across his fur and the burned-out way he looked at the world. Ash came back the next night. And the night after that. It became their quiet ritual. Every evening, after her shift at the bookstore, Olivia would come home, reheat something small, and prepare a second plate for him. She didn't try to pet him. Didn't coax him indoors. He wasn't hers. He was free, and she respected that. But she spoke to him, softly through the window as he ate. In those weeks, she poured into that little routine what she couldn't share with anyone else. Not since her father passed. Not since the silence of the house began pressing down like a weight she couldn't lift. Her friends had stopped asking her to come out. She stopped pretending she was okay. But Ash showed up. Every night, without fail. Until one day, he didn't. It was a Tuesday again. Olivia waited until the food got cold. She called softly into the night, her voice catching in her throat. But the bowl remained untouched. She told herself not to panic. Strays had lives, too. He'd return. He always did. But he didn't come back the next day either. Or the day after. The third night, she walked the neighborhood with a flashlight, calling his name. She peeked into yards, under porches, scanned the roadsides in fear of the worst. She printed small flyers and posted them on lampposts and shop windows. Each one read: Missing stray. Gray cat. Left ear nicked. Not mine, but deeply loved. A week passed. Then two. And just like that, Ash became a memory. A small ghost in her daily routine. Olivia still left the food out for a while, but her hope faded like morning fog. Then, nearly a month later, just before dusk, she heard it, a single, soft meow outside her door. She bolted to the porch and gasped. There he was. Thinner. Dusty. A slight limp in his front paw. But it was Ash. And for the first time ever, he didn't wait for her to go inside. He walked right up to her. But that wasn't all. Around his neck was a blue ribbon, loose but gently tied. Attached to it was a tiny, folded note. Hands trembling, heart pounding, Olivia untied it and opened the message. It was written in careful cursive on worn paper. To the woman who fed him. Thank you. I found him on a day I was planning to disappear. I hadn't spoken to another soul in weeks. He came out of nowhere, rubbed against my leg, and led me down a street. I followed. That's when I saw your flyer. And it stopped me. I thought, if a stranger could love something that wasn't even theirs, maybe the world wasn't as cold as I thought. I took him in for a while. Just until I felt strong enough again. I'm returning him now, because he belongs to you, whoever you are. He saved me. You saved me. From one lost soul to another, thank you. A neighbor you've never met. Olivia stood frozen, the letter fluttering in her hands. Ash sat beside her, tail wrapped neatly around his paws, watching with calm green eyes. In that moment, something inside her cracked open. Not with pain, but with light. She knelt down, scooped him gently into her arms for the first time. He didn't resist. He purred softly into her neck, and she laughed through tears that wouldn't stop. She looked out at the quiet street and whispered into the wind, "You're welcome. And thank you." From that day on, Ash was no longer a visitor, he was family. And Olivia was no longer just surviving. She began walking more. Volunteering at the local shelter. Saying yes to small invitations. little steps toward the world again. Sometimes, she'd see someone sitting alone on a bench or walking with eyes heavy from grief. And she'd smile, knowing how one quiet presence, human or animal, could change everything. Because what she learned from Ash was simple and powerful. Even the smallest kindness can echo through someone else's darkness like a beam of light. And sometimes, in feeding another soul, we nourish our own.